What's up, team? Welcome to my garage. The gym started in what, for lack of a better term, was a garage. So now we are back. First workout of the week is a conditioning, or is an interval workout. So 2 minutes or 3 minutes of work, 1 minute of rest. Play around with whatever feels good for you for today. In terms of the workout, I'm going to go through the warm-up, and then I'm going to demonstrate all of the exercises. One of the good pieces of feedback that I got last week was some of our newer members aren't sure of all the exercises, which I take that for granted. Sometimes you guys are so savvy with everything. So I'll demonstrate the main exercise and an alternative for each movement. For the first exercise, we're just going to be breathing on our back. Again, going back to what we talked about last week. Can you see me down here? Light's not great. We'll figure it out. The goal with the breathing is just to find whatever breathing position feels good for you. So, we'll go on our back, legs bent, hands on the abdomen, staring up at the ceiling of my garage. Remember, tongue is against the roof of your mouth, behind your two front teeth. Breathing in and out of the nose, just nice and casual like. Garage Days Revisited. 360 dunks. So let's get one more breath there. Next we have the Spiderman front reach. So one of the things to keep in mind, we have a lunge today. Carry is the alternative I put on the post earlier. Also, if you want to, a great alternative to the back lunge is the split squat. So a good piece of equipment or makeshift piece of equipment would be to grab a towel to put under your knee if you don't have a yoga block or one of the nice cushy pads that we have at the gym. So one knee up, one knee down, bring that foot way out in front, hands come to the floor, and the back leg goes way back. From there, for the front reach, at the very least, I want you to push your knee down into the floor. If you can dig in the toes, even better. Tap your foot. That's going to be the reaching hand. You're going to pick it up off the ground, chest up. Deep breath in, and then big butt squeeze as you reach across the room. Bring the arm back. Keep the tension in the glute. Deep breath in. Exhale and reach. While I'm reaching, I'm thinking about getting as long as I can from my kneecap to my fingertips and trying to get my chest open. A good tip for this exercise is if you find yourself in kind of like this position and you can't reach up well, get like a yoga block or that towel, roll it up and get it as tall as you can. That building it up is going to allow you to get taller, and it's going to actually allow you to get more stretch out of the hip, which is going to feel fantastic if you've never been there. Switch sides if you didn't already. So just like a lot of our stuff, notice the difference side to side. Hey Nancy, hey Ann. Thanks for commenting, Lou. Hi Sarah. Hey Ed. You're nice too. Maybe. This might be my baby blanket. I think it's actually a bicentennial blanket, Nancy. There's some 1776 number, 1776. You thought I was just a trainer. All right. Next move is the bridge. If you have a sandbag, use it. If you don't have a sandbag, you can put the mini band on the arms. For this, the order of engagement is important, and I mean that literally, right? So feet are about hip width apart. Hands are up. We're going to stretch the band first. So if you have a sandbag, make sure you're pulling it apart first, and then pushing through the floor to bridge up. At the top, I like to cycle a second breath. Keep pushing through the floor, and then return back to the floor. So that order, while you're doing the rest of your reps, pull the bag apart hard first, push the feet into the ground to bridge up. When you get to the top, push a little bit harder, pull a little bit harder, and find that second breath and see if you can create a little more hip extension. Hi, Maureen. Hey, Jody. Miss you too. Let's get like 2 more bridges there. Other things that you can think about. Oh yeah. Well, when I worked at the radio station, I have 2 blankets here. Both of these blankets were great under the tree sleeping blankets, very similar to our friend Rip Van Winkle. But on those last bridges, other things you can incorporate: the grip, so crushing the grip, crushing the handles, or even crushing your fist if you have a mini band to pull apart. It's going to create more tension. Irradiation if you're getting sassy and nerdy. And then gripping the ground with your feet too will create more tension through the lower body. Shoulder tap plank next. So I like to start with that drill we did last week where we're bringing the belt buckle up and the rib cage down. So let's get one of those first just to reinforce that feeling. You're down on the elbow, toes are dug in, push the ground away with the elbows, hips up, tuck the tailbone and crush the crush the rib cage onto the abdominals, and then drive through the heels to find the lower body. Just roast yourself for like 3 or 4 breaths just to get the feeling. And then we're going to go into the shoulder tap plank. So if you have not seen this slight variation on the exercise, just watch real quick. Typically up until about 6 weeks ago or so, I definitely coached it with thumbs touching. Now that's a great place to start because it just makes it easy to tap from one side to the next. As you get deeper into the movement, the wider the feet are and actually the more symmetrical the stance, the harder it's going to be to find the shoulder tap plank. Obviously, if we were in a push-up position, that would be even harder. So, and possibly impossible. So, based on what your skill level is, I still want you to play around, but play around with the width of your hands. So I'm going to go about shoulder width here. Feet are still going to be wide. Now I'm going to find that belt buckle up, rib cage down feeling. And then what I want you to do first is just find the lean. So I'm going to push through my right hand to lean to the left, find the belt buckle up, rib cage down in that heavy left hand, and then push through the left hand to the right hand, quads tight, butt tight, rib cage down, belt buckle up, find the heavy hand. So slide to the left, find all your connections, tap, slide to the right, find all your connections, tap. The opposite foot should not come off the floor. So if you're feeling like that's going to happen, make sure you're... Excuse me. A robocall. Classic. Let's get like 2 more taps on each side. And if you start to feel like you lose the core engagement, stop, rest, shake it out, reset, and go again. Next exercise is your half kneel head turn. So I just threw this in there. We don't need any equipment for it. Great hip stability drill. We talked about it a few times last week. Start with that front foot in like a neutral position. And then just slowly march it in towards center to the first place where you feel like you're going to lose your balance. And then go like 1 or 2 clicks out. Hang your hands. We'll do that other quick drill. Lean too far forwards, get a heavy front foot. Lean backwards until the front foot feels super light. So you should be able to do these heel-toe rocks. If you're leaning forward, you'll be able to pick up the heel, but the toes won't be as easy. So find that place where you can kind of find even pressure throughout the foot. We're going to hang out and just look straight ahead. And that little bit of like, you know, being on the waves of the ocean kind of feeling is normal. From there, we're just going to go eye turn. So you're painting in a murder mystery. Slowly scanning the room, and you can see I'm starting to get a little wobbly, right? Front foot is still heavy. Front foot is still light. From there, once that feels good, you can do a little head turn with it. And the big thing here is just make sure you're still breathing. Try not to squeeze your butt. Try to keep your whole body relaxed. And just move your head. Switch sides. So notice the difference side to side. If that bothers your knee, please grab a towel. But again, ankles under the knee in front. Lean forward, get the heavy front foot. Lean back till the knee feels heavy. Little bit of a heel-toe rock. And then just hang out and breathe. Find that position of the front foot where it feels slightly difficult. should be like 60-40. You should still feel successful, but it should be difficult. I'm assuming that you can hear that banging on the roof of the garage right now. A little bit of freezing rain in there. Excellent. From there, last move is just the lunge matrix. So make sure you have room with 360 degrees so we can get to stepping. You're going to start with your front foot. You're going to start with your feet together, and you're just going to go in a circular stepping pattern. I'm going to walk you through it. So with your right foot, you're going to step forward towards midnight. If you can't get deep into a split squat, cool. Go as deep as feels comfortable for you, and just push yourself back to standing. We're going to go out to the side. So as big a step as feels comfortable. Sit into the hip. Push yourself up. That right leg is going to go back into the side. Sit into the hip. Push yourself up. Right leg goes straight back. Find the big toe. Go as deep into the exercise as you feel comfortable with. Pop yourself up. Step back with the left foot, back towards 6 o'clock. Pull into that split squat, pop yourself up. Back into the side. Sit into the hip. Pop yourself back up. Out into the side. Sit into the hip. Pop yourself up. And then left foot straight ahead. Little bit of a split squat. Pop yourself back up. So that's your warm-up there, my friends. Station 1 is going to be your shoulder tap plank or your plank lean. So if you're newer to planking, please just keep the push-up plank. If you want to start working towards the shoulder tap plank and you feel like you can keep the core feeling in the push-up position, then start to get that push through one side to shift your weight and then find that super heavy hand. If that all makes sense and you can still keep the core, tap the shoulder. Exercise 2 is your goblet or mace flip back lunge. We talked about split squat there, or we can go with a carry if none of those work. So I would go goblet just because it corresponds to the upper body holding position of the back lunge, right? One thing to keep in mind on this and the way that the lunge progresses is remember when you're in that half kneel position, you want to just get that little bit of lean forward if you're split squatting. So I'm not super tall like the head turns I was doing before. I'm leaning into the front foot to get a good connection, pushing through that front foot to come up, and then keeping the front foot heavy as I come back down. So when you go to your goblet back lunge, bell is in front of the heart. As I lean back, I'm going to try to keep that front foot heavy. So you're going to see this bottom position is very similar to the split squat position I did earlier, and then I'm going to pop myself back up. Station 3, staggered stance 3-point row. So if you have a kettlebell, cool. If you don't have a kettlebell, one of my favorite variations on this is grab a mini band and put it under your front foot. It's a good variation if you don't have other equipment, right? Dumbbell is perfect here too. So feet are together, or front foot is next to the bell. Other foot is going to go way back and a little out to the side. So you want to get a little bit of width between your base. And then we're going to go elbow on the knee. It didn't freeze. Elbows on the knee. We're going to start with the bell under our belly button. I love that cue from Coach Violet. Push the elbow, crush the handle of the bell, and then row that bell back towards your pocket. Try to find as much tension as you can through the lower body. So just like the bridge that we did earlier, grip the floor with your feet, drive the elbow down through your quad. All that stuff is going to help you stay stable. In a lot of these kind of rowing positions, the easiest part should actually be the row because the rest of the body is just locked in. Make sure you're not flaring from the rib cage. Try to find the core connection, all that good stuff. Lateral lunge is next. So some more single leg exercises. Lateral lunge, part of the lunge matrix that we did earlier. The thing you want to screw around with is how wide of a step can I still get that push off the floor. It's a lunge just like a back lunge. So if we were taking too big of a step in our back lunge and we had to shift our weight forward to get out of the bottom, we're not really accomplishing the exercise as well as we could be. So same thing with the lateral lunge. Don't take such a big step that you have to slide back and pop yourself up. Especially if you have weight, play around with how wide of a step you can take and just be explosive out of the bottom. It doesn't matter the width of the step. And as you get stronger and more competent in the exercise, you can either take a bigger step or grab a bigger weight. Other alternatives there. So if the lateral lunge doesn't work, lateral split squat would be the next best thing. So feet super wide, toes are pointed out a little bit, and then we're going to keep our chest up as we sit into the pocket. So you're just going to stay here side to side You can go goblet. I love a mini band on this, so you could stretch the mini band and press it out as you go side to side. Sandbag, any of that good stuff. Front-loaded fist would be a good one for people like Lou or Kathleen who have sandbags at home. Even if you have the power bag, you can hold it from the outside handles, and that is it's good because it's out in front and it's a little farther from your body, so it's going to help counterbalance and keep you tall. Hey, Karen. Hi, Bree. Hey. And then last but not least, in that same pattern, so we have lateral lunge, lateral split squat, or lateral cross crawl. Lateral cross crawls here. So if none of those work for you, dude, do this for 2 minutes. It's going to burn you up. On the sheet that I posted earlier, I had step-ups for section 5. You're welcome to do step-ups. I would just find a stair in your basement or somewhere there's a stair. And then load it up, step up, be controlled down. Treat it just like the split squat. So when you step up, load the front leg and then push through the floor to push yourself up. And then as you step back, little bit of lean forward, keep the foot heavy as you step back down. If that doesn't work for you, mini band monster walk would be my next best suggestion. Throw that mini band on, go goblet, even just interlace the fingers if you don't have any weights at home, and keep the feet wide as you go. Last but not least, we have your sandbag clean or deadlift or an explosive squat. So you guys know the drill with the sandbag deadlift. Big thing on this is, again, we're not in the gym, but check your setup. So make sure the bag is right on the feet. One of my other favorite little cues like this, and this is a good one that I gave to Lou and Terry Thompson, keep your head a little bit more up at the bottom. It's normal to look down at the bag, but a lot of the times when we look down at the bag, our upper back will go with us, especially when we start to do multiple reps. So keep looking out maybe 10 feet out in front, and you can see it kind of keeps my back nice and neutral, so when I get into extra cleans, I'm not starting to round my back and not starting to pull with my spine. I'm actually, keeping everything neutral, and the pull is coming from the hips or the upper body. Sandbag deadlift, sandbag clean, or explosive squat. So I would throw the mini band on there. One of the things you see in any kind of explosive squatting exercise, like jumping, right, is the knees cave in. So I definitely want to get our clients towards jumping, and we've talked about getting some padded boxes so that if we jump off and we jump up onto the box and we miss, we don't scrape our shins. You don't want to leave your DNA at our gym because we'll frame you. Throw the mini band on so that way when you go down into the squatting position, you can think about driving the knees out and then come up fast. So spread the band, drive through the floor to jump up. So other things to think about that, make sure the core feels engaged. I've done box jumps where I've done like 3 or 4 or 5, and I start to feel the low back a little bit. It's because as soon as I go to jump, I'm here hyperextended, and then I start to feel low back stuff. What's up, Jess? So spread the band, keep the core engaged, spread the band nice and slow down, drive up hard. If that doesn't feel good, just regular bodyweight squat would be fantastic here. It's a symmetrical strength exercise. We're not getting as much hip dominance necessarily. Maybe if we reach our butt back more, we're going to get more posterior chain as opposed to going straight down. That's more anterior chain, quads, knees, that jazz. So those are your main exercises and alternatives. What's up, Elise? Miss you too, Jess. Who else we got? Elise, Kathleen. Excellent. Guys, happy to have you here on this Whack Monday. You don't need too much equipment, a mace, a bell, a band. You can do all this stuff with bands. We're going to do definitely have some more videos on just how to make the most of the equipment you have. And, even if you don't have a heavy bell, sometimes using a band and a bell, as long as you trust yourself, is a great alternative to add some weight without actually having a heavier weight. Add some resistance, I should say. Be safe out there if you're traveling. Obviously, 1, you shouldn't be, and 2, you shouldn't be. Just throwing it out there. Hope you're all well. Please put some comments in there if you need any suggestions on alternatives. We're going to put this up on YouTube. It's going to go out in an email tonight. We're trying to flood you with all the contact that is both safe and appropriate. Jordan! Who else is there? Guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye.